Opie and Anthony Show. Wow, we got to go right to the phone. Celebrities just love the Opie and Anthony Show. Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
Ricky,
Yeah.
hi.
And, you know, I love being a celebrity.
Well, you are one.
Yeah, that's right.
Now movies and everything.
Hey, Ricky, how much is
Why would Jimmy's mic be on?
Who's that shouting without their microphone turned up? What sort of
Jimmy
sound?
Norton.
Jim Norton? You might remember me. We've met a couple. If you saw my face, you'd remember me. I was talking to you with Louis C.K.
Yeah, I know who you are. I remember your face. How could I forget that face?
Okay.
It's like, yes, I know who you
Oh,
are.
I didn't know.
I've already passed it on to a surgeon I know.
If you forget what his face looks like, just look at your knee.
That's Bob Kelly. You might remember him if you saw the cutting room floor of Ghost Town or Dane Kushner movie.
Our movie is going to be big. I'm excited about our movie, Ricky.
Our movie.
We've had lovely reviews, haven't we?
Yeah.
Getting really great reviews,
Almost
man.
80% on Rotten Tomatoes so far, which is phenomenal.
That's great. That's brilliant. I like being 80%.
You were hilarious on Conan the other night, too, making him bend down on his knees, taking photos of him on his own show.
I can't believe he did it.
Twice. You made him do it
A
twice.
grown man in a suit. He's about 6'6". He doesn't need to do it. He spent a long time on his hair. The last thing he wants to do is crawl around a carpet.
He's got that Bob's Big Boy hair.
I know, it's good. It's got a hell of a bounce to it.
Yeah.
Hey, how much, and Extras was another great thing you did, and how much, Andy Millman, is it for real when you start hitting big? Like, you kind of starting out like, ugh, and then all of a sudden you're just rocketing into fame. Is there any of the truth in that?
I'm leaving town. Now the reviews are good, I'm leaving town. I've actually got to go to the Emmys. I'm leaving today to get ready for the Emmys. I'm handing out an Emmy, and obviously I'm going to lose about 7. I'm going to have my name not called about 7 times.
Oh no!
On Sunday.
What are you nominated for, sir?
I think director, writer, actor, producer.
Jesus.
What are you, Jewish?
Greedy.
And some are for extras and some are for the American Office. But I'm going to also, they've put me in the film category, which is a nice promotion. But I'm up against 4 Oscar winners.
What are you up? What the film category?
Well, I'm up in the extras special is actually in the movie category.
Oh.
They've put it in the movie category because it was like 85 minutes long, which is nice and it is flattering. And we sort of secretly made a movie. I was sort of practicing, but then to be put up, I'm up against ridiculous actors, real actors. So I've got
real
no chance.
actors.
Who are you up against? Because I mean,
Ralph Fiennes, Paul Giamatti,
I pardon you.
Wilkinson. Just ridiculous.
they all stink. I'm tired of all of them. You got a great shot at winning. Who wants to see Ray Fiennes again? It's like, we get it.
Oh, I like Ray Fiennes. He was great. Have you seen Bruges? It's brilliant.
No, but I'm just kind of being partisan because I like you so much.
Well, yeah. Well, I still want me to win more than them. As much as I like them, if I'm pitted against someone, then I want me to win. For example, even if I like you guys, but if we were in maybe a gladiator arena,
right,
and it was a battle to the death, I have to try my hardest.
You'd have to kill us. Are you going to try to look gracious when you lose? Are you going to clap and smile like, oh, I'm glad he won?
No, are we in the gladiator arena now, or just the Emmys?
Ricky, please, if you lose one, the first one you lose, please on camera just mouth the words to someone. He sucks. How did he win? He sucks. Because they'll go to you every time.
I know. You've got to pretend, but you've got to choice. You either can clap and really pretend that you want them to win, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right, that's ridiculous. You can sort of clap and sort of smile, and that's good, okay. Or you sort of whisper to the person next to you just for something to do.
Yeah.
Like you're just getting on with your life.
And then everyone's speculating, like, what's he whispering? I bet he's, pissed.
Yeah, I like it when they really are surprised.
I always assume that if you're there at the awards show, and you're nominated, you want to win. So you're not clapping and happy that somebody else won.
Of course you want to win.
Yeah.
Of course you do. I mean, I actually do go to award shows more than I do other things like this because it would be a slap in the face not to. Unless I genuinely can't go, particularly something as big as the Emmys or the Globes and things like that. So I always try and go. But of course you want to win.
Yeah.
It's the only times when I'm torn. I thought Steve should have won the BAFTA because he was up against me and he was more the comedy character. So there I thought it genuinely probably would have been better to Steve to win because you know he's nothing without me, and it would be a nice little. Do you know what I mean?
Steve Merchant, you mean?
Consistently, I'm let down by my cast. I keep proving that I'm what keeps everything afloat. And to be honest, I think I'm carrying Ghost Town. If we're being totally honest, but there was one construction worker that was there was like a string of them. They look like you know, have you seen Village People now? They look like that.
Yeah, I've seen the cowboy walking around or something, but
yeah, with his open chaps.
Yeah.
Remember the day where you were getting chased in the park down that hill through the underneath the bridge?
Yeah.
I got yelled at by the director that day.
Why? What did he say?
Because you were on set.
No, we were running down the hill, and I was a little heavier at the time. Right.
Oh, did he? No, I think when he shouted, "Run, fatty," he was talking to me.
No, I was running down the hill, and my arms started flailing and making circles. And I just ran by the camera with my arms like propellers, and people were laughing, and I was like, "Oh my god, I just did something funny in the movie." And then all you hear is him go, "Why did he do that with his arms?" And then,
no, but he said to me, he said, "You didn't look fat." He said, "You looked camp."
Well, he actually walked up. He goes, "Why did you do that?" I go, "I'm fat," and I walked away.
Which is the answer for every question.
Was.
Yeah.
That's what I say. It's a disease now. Everything's a disease. I have no responsibility over this. I like to eat too much because my brain kicks in and says, "Eat that." And there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, no one takes responsibility for anything anymore. You could just blame it on a disease, get a prescription for it.
Well, I talk about this on the new podcast we've got out. That I said that there's now, with no political correctness, you see, that's gone crazy. There's no stigma at all. And I was saying I want people to shout me in the street fatty, and the papers picked up on that. All the British press are going, "Call Ricky fatty" in the street, and I wanted to make it claim that I meant all fat people should be abused.
Right, not just you.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, on your podcast, I think they're number 1 through 5 on iTunes now.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they're huge.
We've been 1 to 4 for about 2 years now, and this new one's come out and it's gone straight to number 1. So eventually, I want to push everyone out the top 10. So it's just my chart.
Just you selfish bastard.
It's like when there's a pop band in like Eastern Europe that's at number 1 for 19 years because it's the only homegrown pop band. That's what I want to be like.
So now, obviously, the reviews are coming in for Ghost Town. Very good. Now, what have you gotten a lot of offers coming in now? More movies?
Well, do you know what? It hasn't really changed because, I mean, apart from this one, I've been turning down everything anyway for about 5 years, and I haven't been turning down films because they weren't good or they weren't right for me. It's just been a no because I've been busy. You know, I did The Office. I worked on that for 3 years, then Extras, and I just wasn't looking, and I'm still not looking because I'm doing my own thing. The next film that's out is This Side of the Truth, which I just finished writing and directing with Matt Robinson, and that's me and Rob Lowe, Jennifer Garner, Jonah Hill, Christopher Guest, Jeffrey Tambor, Tina Fey. It is like the comedy cast of the decade, you know, and so that's very exciting.
And now you're part of that whole inner circle. Oh my God!
Well, I'm not really part of any circle. You know what I mean? You're the only people that consistently invite me into your world. Everyone else just does it once and then says, "Well, let's just rest."
Let's rest. We've talked a little too much. I think.
What's that new movie about? This Side of the Truth.
It's imagine if the world was different. Imagine if the human race hadn't evolved the gene for lying. What would it be like? There'd be no fiction, no art. Everyone would be brutally honest. And it's a very harsh world. And I come along and I'm a loser in this world and I'm beaten up by the world. But I discover I've got this genetic mutation and I can lie. And so I'm pretty invincible and I can get anything I want.
Wow. That's actually a damn good idea.
That's a great idea.
Ricky,
Jesus.
Ricky, can I tell you something?
Go on.
I auditioned for that too.
Did you?
Oh.
The guy standing on the thing screaming.
Oh, yeah, the guy, the crazy guy,
Yeah.
yeah.
Would you leave Ricky alone and stop following him around to auditions?
I didn't even know.
I didn't. Where did you audition?
In New York. Yeah, and I got a nice hot no. I got, thanks.
No, you'd have been good for that. You'd have been good for that. I mean, the guy we got was good. I'm gonna admit that to you. I mean, we're happy with what we've got in the can. But it would have been different. And I didn't know you then, did I? I could, in the future, I'll pull a few strings.
It seems like movies would be your thing because you kind of don't. It seems like movies would be your thing because you kind of don't like staying on any one project too long, it seems.
Yeah, movies are great because you sort of treat the work slightly differently. Not that I don't do this for television, but movies really are forever. And it seems like you might as well, really get them right because you want them to be around. Like Ghost Town, it's a little movie, but what I think is nice about it isn't the opening weekend. The fact that I think it's like a little perennial classic.
Mm-hmm.
I think this will play for 20 years hopefully, and me and Steve Merchant were very conscious of that. And I think it's because I came to it maybe with an older, wiser, fatter head on my shoulders, and we always thought we took out jokes that you wouldn't get in a year's time because they were a cultural reference.
That's a good idea.
We think that. And I think it still stands up. I know it's only been 5 years, but I think it'll be around in 20.
There's nothing worse than watching a movie that it was a kind of a good movie that just has references in it like, oh brother, what are you doing?
A Big Brother winners reference. People go, well, who's that?
Yeah.
It was Craig. I don't remember Craig.
You have this great knack for you really are the quintessential not greedy with comedy. Like you did 12 episodes of The Office. A phenomenal finishing 2-hour special or whatever it was, and you had done. And the same thing with extras. It's like you always finish like people really want you to do another season or whatever. You never get greedy with this stuff.
Well, there's a few reasons for that. I mean, I've been let down myself. I hate this idea that if something's successful, you've got to milk it. I don't know why you've got to milk it. That's for other people, not for you. I don't know why. It's them thinking they're sort of milking you, not literally. That would be disgusting. And the other reason is, you do get bored quite quickly. But the main reason is that because me and Steve do it all ourselves, we haven't got a team of 20 creative producers. We don't use other writers. We put everything into it. It takes us months and months to write the scripts. Then we film it, and then we worry about the font on the back of the DVD, and it's really intense.
Jeez, yeah.
So, but the payback is the fact that we can put it on our shelf and say we did that, and that's the most satisfying thing. The sheer pleasure of having done it.
It's funny too. Everyone tries to get these cringe moments in comedy, and you by far and away are the master of just uncomfortability.
Being a douche.
But I mean, like, where you really physically recoil watching when you're alone. And in extras, I think the moment that got me the most was when you're at the awards show and the doll of you is giving that awful, you having a laugh, that horrible catchphrase, and the guy is trying to give this touching speech, and it's just, great, man.
Well, I mean, I've always been aware of uncomfortable moments, but I've never got embarrassed myself. I mean, you guys the same. I think that we've got like this sort of shield, particularly if you're a comedian, but I feel discomfort for other people. And the worst thing for me is a bad sense of humour. If there's a group of people and someone makes a joke and someone else, and then someone makes a bad joke and it goes badly, I want to rewind time and go to him, don't say it this time. And I don't know why. I feel sorry for the coolest man in the world if he can't tell a joke. I feel sorry for a president. If he makes a bad joke, I want to go, oh, bless him. He could be bombing the shit out of countries. But if he makes a bad joke, I feel so sorry for him.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something very revealing, and there's something totally naked about somebody in a social setting who is trying to be funny, and it just gets a zero, and there's that cold stammering after, and people just kind of look down at
you can't look at each other.
It
it's
hurts,
just
doesn't it? It actually hurts.
Oh,
in your
pain.
chest.
Yes,
like
physical pain.
Oh, you want to breathe deeply. Just you can't shake it off. Embarrassment. I mean, it's just the worst.
He just reached out for love, and everyone in the group went, "No, we're rejecting you." It's a very personal thing.
Yeah.
And boy,
I was at this dinner party once with we only knew sort of one set of friends, and they were all their friends, and they were quite sort of like ranging from sort of like posh and middle class and up to sort of like 70-year-olds, and we were telling jokes, and we got onto like sicker jokes, and I told one particularly, I won't tell it now, I can't. It's really sick, and then at the dinner they said, "Oh, tell that joke," and I went,
my God.
I went, no, and they went, "No, go on, it'll be all right." And I looked around, and I thought, well, okay, it must be really cool. And I told the joke, and it went quiet, and they went, "Not that one." Well, be specific. I just told the worst joke in the world.
Yeah, we embrace our bombs here on the show.
Oh. They're fun, aren't they? But that was the fun with The Office. The Office was actually a, and we didn't say this at the time, but The Office was a comedy about comedy. It was much more about comedy than anything else, really, because in a social situation, that's what people try and fail at. That's what, you know, and it's just... It is the worst. It's the worst feeling in the world to bomb with a joke.
Well, the beauty of David Brent was it was so how like completely he would go, he gets it. He's having a laugh. Like you would always point at people who were just deadpanning and go, he's enjoying it.
Completely unaware at what an ass he is.
Also, of course, because he had that added pressure that he knew it was being filmed, so he had to be seen to be doing well. Because that's all he wanted it for.
The little eye dart off to the camera,
exactly,
like looking over at the camera like that, all uncomfortably.
Well, I remember when we were making the show. I mean, we were such a slave to the realism, but more we had to keep reminding people that it was a fake documentary. Because if you take that away, it's quite an average, boring sort of sitcom where nothing happens. But when you realise that these people are, well, particularly David Brent, is doing it because he wants to be famous, it adds the biggest dimension. And then when you see why Tim and Dawn are sort of being coy, it's because they're being filmed. It makes all the frisson comes to life, and it's so important.
That's a great point, because if you just take it at face value, I wouldn't even know what to make of it at face value. It might be funny, but when you do put it in that documentary kind of atmosphere,
I think it would be depressing, more depressing than that, because it would just be people that there's no reason why they're
with horrible jobs and a horrible boss.
I know, exactly.
And the way David Brent would sell himself, the beauty of it was in those moments where you're talking to the camera, and just the things like, I want to be, if they say, hey, he's a great boss, well, sue me. Just these little things you'd say about yourself. It's like, God, what an ass.
I know. Well, a couple of people say, is it based on anyone? And it's sort of a Frankenstein of people I've met. But one of the, the opening scene where I'm saying to that forklift driver, I don't give bad jobs. If a guy comes to me and I make the phone call, that actually happened to me when I was about 18. I went along to one of those temp agencies to get to be placed for like weeks in factories and stuff before I went to college. And he gave me that speech, and he called up the guy and he goes, of course they're over 21, and sort of winked at us like we were sort of meant to be happy that he was lying to a friend. This is meant to ingratiate him. So they're all sort of out of experiences, but I think the more real something is, even if you just do it on a subliminal level, the more payback you get. And I just think people identify with it more.
I think that's great when you can remember one moment of someone being a complete ass from years ago in your life.
Yeah, I suppose I've always been a sort of, people watcher, and it sort of goes in,
Will you get the same reaction from like people who are watching your work that people get in real life when they do that? And I think that's the hardest part to translate. Is like you can make me uncomfortable while I'm alone watching it, which is really hard to do.
Well, the only time apart from Curb Your Enthusiasm, which I get that with, I sometimes have to turn away because it's just too much. Where it's slightly different with him because he's sort of like defiantly like that. Like David Brent, who had the blind spot, the Larry David character in the show is one of those people that just won't back down, which is funny. But the times I get it, apart from social situations, is the reality game shows. Two people flirting on a reality game show honestly makes me want to cut my own head off. there is nothing worse when they think they can't be heard, and he's sort of like doing these lines. Oh my God. There's just nothing more about, and someone singing a song. You get these people going to Big Brother or what, and they want to be a pop star, so they sort of like singing songs all the time as well as they can, and you want to go. It's so cringy, isn't it?
I love the fact that you probably induce more cringe than anybody, yet it bothers you so much when you actually see it for yourself.
Because mine is fictional. This is what we do. We create these superheroes and villains so no one really gets hurt. Whereas these people are real. They're really doing it.
It is true, though. I hate when you walk in through New York and see some dude just singing like some Broadway song because he's an actor and he wants people to know that he sings. Ugh.
I quite feel sorry for those actors that are dressed as teddy bears giving out leaflets, though, because they wanted to be playing Chekhov at the National, but someone going in there.
No, we were just talking to Michael Chiklis, and he did the whole stint as a waiter. That's kind of the stereotypical what does an actor do before he makes it thing. stint as a waiter. That's kind of the stereotypical what does an actor do before he makes it thing.
I think that's better, though.
Yeah?
I think it's better to work in a bar or be a waiter than do a, dress up.
Yeah.
I just, God.
Just try to get your 15 minutes and hope it lasts longer.
Because everyone's got a mobile phone with a video, and it'll be on YouTube. When you're the biggest star in the world, you'll get on YouTube and you'll be clucking around like a chicken, handing out leaflets.
Dressed like a piece of gum, hanging out Wrigley's.
You're right. It's too. There's a great moment too in Extras that I love so much. It's like it's such an honest way of capturing. Like Andy Millman's an extra, and then he starts to hit. He starts to hit big. Getting his own sitcom.
Yeah.
And in season 2. And you go to this little bar, and your fans are annoying you. So then you go to this fancy place where they put you in the special VIP area, and they boot you out.
Yeah.
Oh God, who was it that showed up? The singer. Oh my God,
David Bowie.
David Bowie.
Well, that happened to me. My girlfriend was a producer on a big English soap opera called EastEnders. And we went along with some of those stars, right, when she was working on it. We went there, and they let us do in the VIP, just like that. They let us sit there, and then they came over and said, "You're going to have to move." We said, "Why?" I said, "Because Goldie Hawn's just come in."
Oof.
And they moved these soap opera stars out of the way for Goldie Hawn to sit there.
What year was it? 1979? Who cares about her?
1969.
It was about 1992. She was over in England. I don't know what she was doing. So it actually happened. But the David Bowie thing was sort of like that. I mean, obviously, I couldn't be accepted where I wanted to be, so I went back and got a little bit of adoration and from the idiots. Yeah.
But this at the end of the episode, he goes back to the small bar. But there's something really touching about
great.
that. It's like, these guys are really human. These people. It's like you don't feel like they're caricatures. There's something really touching about these guys because they're these zeros that like want to be loved and it just they.
Well, I think that's true, but I think if you scratch an actor or an actress just a little bit, you'll see something bad that's happened to them, and they really want a hug, and they really need love, and it's just, it's not all of them, but even the ones you think are all right, that they can turn on a sixpence. They can suddenly start shouting about their cappuccino being cold. And I'm always scared when I meet someone, like, are they going to be normal? And everyone I've met so far has been pretty sort of like stable, and I suppose that it's the ones with talent that are okay. It's these.
Guess you didn't talk to Bobby that long, huh? On the set.
I'm in his movie. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Let's be serious.
You know what? I'm still thinking him sitting there with a hard hat on, and he obviously isn't, is he?
No, a flesh-colored one.
He was actually at the cellar with Louis, and I took a nice hot bombing. I really wanted to do well in front of Ricky.
You didn't bomb. Why did you think you bombed?
I heard both of you giggling when I wasn't talking.
Why do you think you bombed?
No. There's a reason for that, because Louis said to me he forgot to mention his therapist, and I sort of laughed because of Louis pointing out where you'd gone wrong. You were doing the thing.
Where I've gone wrong.
Yeah, I thought that was what I was laughing at. I thought that I was laughing at the audacity of Louis during a set to lean over to me and go, he forgot to mention his therapist. Where you were doing a bit about, I think, and that's what I laughed at. We weren't sitting there laughing, going, look at the fat bald guy without a crash helmet on, dying.
Yeah.
Hey, Ricky, we got to kind of cut it short and get out of here. Yeah, we got to go to the XM side and curse.
Thank you very much.
Hold on, Ghost Town is out. It does come out today.
Yeah.
But mention it every day for a week. We need to stay around in cinemas. We're only in about 7.
We'll do that.
We have been talking
We're your
about
pal.
He was kidding, Jimmy.
No, I know. I realized that as I committed to start saying, and then I'm like, do I want to be the idiot that didn't get it, or do I want to act like I'm really professional?
Yeah, multi-million-dollar movie, 7 theaters.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 in Jersey.
Or multi-million, not multi-million. You're a melty talented guy.
Thank you.
Bob, you idiot. And numbers 1 through 5 on iTunes. And what can you say? The original Office and the extras. Hey, good luck at the Emmys, man. I really hope you beat all those Finnish bums. I really.
Yeah, and thanks for calling in and stuff. We were having a few issues, and Jimmy was a little upset. But I'm glad you called it. No, not at you, of course not.
I'm going to try and pop in next time I'm here as well.
Yeah, when you're in town, just
I'll talk about you on my blog today, rickygervais.com. I'll talk about Opie and Anthony show and all my friends in New York as I leave the city.
Very good. Thanks, Ricky.
Take it easy, Ricky.
Good luck, man.
Later, man.
Bye.
Great.
There we go. What fun.
What a fun caller, man.
I know. He's
great.
fantastic. And you can't help but just, like, dump adulation on the guy. He's
Because-
too good.